Good morning, Sheikh Nasser. Thank you very much for giving us this very exclusive interview. So can you please tell us about your current visit to China?
Well, good morning. This is not my first trip to China. This is my third trip to China, and I always, when I'm in China, it just inspires a lot of things. But my main visit to China this time is to deliver a letter of understanding to the President from His Highness the Emir, and to consolidate the relation between the two countries, and to go more details about the vision of the President and the Emir of Kuwait, His Highness the Emir of Kuwait, and to try to expedite things. So we will start our meeting tonight and tomorrow, and I hope we will be in a full of harmony and more understanding.
His Highness Emir had paid a visit to China earlier this year, and a strategic partnership between China and the Kuwait has been established. Can you please also tell us about his visits previously?
Yes, it was wonderful. It was short though, but it was very successful. And the two leaders went also in history of the relation of Kuwait and China, which is more than 50 years now. And it is among the first of the GCC. Kuwait and China had this relation, and actually it was a very, very fruitful, and they have done a lot together since then. So it's not a surprise. But what is the thing have tied them more and more consolidated? It is because of this vision, Belt and Road.
So how do you think of China's Belt and Road initiative, and how do you think this corresponding with Kuwait's new Kuwait Vision 2030?
They coincide very closely, and it's almost the same. Yes, and of course we are very, very much have ambition to enlarge the vision, since we have a good and a great friend that we can depend on him to expand this vision. For example, among this, we wanted to explore how much we need from China to make the north part of Kuwait is a hub to help the neighborhood and the Central Asia and Southeast Asia to cross, to go through the Red Sea to the Aegean Sea, the Mediterranean, to the Black, and to the Eastern Europe. And we'll see what it needs between us so we can help building this. And I'm sure if the Chinese are willing to help and they find it interesting, we will raise this one to our ally, that the GCC, to get with it, because there is a lot of area need to be developed.
And so far, what has been the responses from the China side?
Yes. Is
it positive that they would like to engage in this?
I think that our friend, the Chinese, have signed with every member of the GCC of understanding, including Iraq and Iran. So that is not at all a difficult or a new introduction. It's just to how to get the things best for everybody. And you know, we need our friend the Chinese to understand more and help on building a huge area on the north, which will be one of the greatest area with a huge investment. It may even reach to $600 billion.
$600 billion.
It has a potential to get, and that's open for the international investment. And we are looking for our Chinese to help running our North Harbor, which is called Mubarak Harbor, and with all the logistic, and since it will be a hub for international across through Kuwait to go to the African Horn, to the Adriatic Sea, to the Mediterranean, and then East to Europe. We need a friend that we can
depend. Are these all part of the new Kuwait's Vision 2035?
Yes, it is Kuwait, and also the Chinese always, through the old Silk Road, they were here, but we need it now more sophisticated, more help to the nations that they fell on the same route.
Well, can you also please tell us about the old Kuwait's Vision 2035? So what happened to the old plan?
That is not a really old plan. I mean, that is, it was philosophical and vision, but now it is no more philosophy and vision. Now it is a project.
It is more concrete, more
it's
down
more
to earth.
project. That's why we're discussing with our friend the Chinese in different angle and where they want to help us at what level and what area, like harbors or master plan for the building.
So the new Kuwait's Vision 2035 is based on the old Kuwait Vision 2035, and it is more concrete with more details.
Yes, and it coincides with the Belt and Road itself. The economy of Kuwait is very relaxed, but we are not happy to see it the way it is, where it is going. I mean, the oil will have other replacement on the future, and we don't want to depend on oil. We want to depend on other energy to use, and we will use that oil for the generation. But we need to build area, and we want to help others to cross.
Well, are there any challenges that you have to face and cope at this moment? Do you
Yes,
have to cope out?
yes. One of the challenges that we are facing is to have Kuwait always on the map to help others. Now we have surplus of money, and we have Kuwait Development Fund, which contributing money to the needy things. But we need also to be a hub for many areas that need to be developed, like Central Asia. It's like a line, closed line. We want to open that line, give them a chance to cross, easy cross, and to get a real sustainable development.
Right, yes.
And the Chinese had a great bank, Asian bank, to help, and we are participant on that bank. So we'll make it very useful and very helpful for all the country that fell on the road.
Well, you say that you are not happy with, let's say, the degree of the dependency of the Kuwaiti economy on oil right now. So how much are we talking about this? Is it much higher than most of other GCC countries?
We are depending almost like 88% on oil.
Wow, yeah.
Which is we are not happy. We want to develop area other than the oil, like the history of Kuwait before the oil. So Kuwait was entirely depending on the human being. Now we are less important on the human being because of this relax of surplus. But that will not be, it will not prevail. So we're trying to develop other area and to work with the neighborhood.
You see, Kuwait is a beautiful country, it's a rich country, and it's probably one of the most open, democratic country in the region, and it has a fairly low corporate tax rate, isn't it?
Yes.
However, why is the Kuwait still being perceived as a place that is difficult to do business in? Well, I've never been there. Maybe it is a stereotype, but are you aware of this?
Yes, I am. And we are extremely discontented for that. We are not happy. And there is a lot of work now. It just to make it more easy to work, and it is less bureaucracy. And you will see it on the 6 months to come that things has changed. Not changed, but at least better than before.
But how can you make such kind of a major change in a short period of time? Because what some may think that the reason for the, let's say, a lot of red tapes in the past was because of this, the country system, which, on the other hand, might be an advantage to this country. So how can you balance?
There is, we are changing a lot of laws, and we have a better understanding between our parliamentary and our government, and we are discussing the vision, and among the things will break through is through the vision. The vision being accepted by the parliament. So now we start going to cut the red tape on that one in order to get to the stage where we'll open up more to the investor. But you so rightly that we have this red tape problem which we're going to over it. And the vision of His Highness is to cut that red tape. And since it's been accepted by the parliament and more welcomed by the people themselves, we have a polling system going on. It's so surprisingly that the people are aware of the vision and they just wanted to go forward.
Right.
So things is going well.
You just mentioned about your parliament, and obviously there are a lot of praises, compliments that goes to the establishment of the Kuwaiti parliament. But however, I wonder, how do you manage to balance or keep the harmony between the urban voters and the tribal voters? That could be a problem for a lot of countries as such.
It is. I mean, that's a bit created by the election on the country. But being a young democracy, those things you could see them happening. But it's getting less and less and less. So the tribal feeling, it is less felt than before.
But we can also see in some other countries in the region, especially, that the tribe characters are pretty strong in their political system, but it works well.
No, it's different. It's different. You know, it's one of these disturbing things. We don't have a party system where they have the manifest and then people go for the manifest. But some of them go to the tribal feeling, and if they are, but it's getting less and less and less. Now the social structure is going over this feeling, whether he is a tribal or not a tribal. It is no, it is much less than any type.
Right.
It takes time, but it is already much less.
But still, you don't have the party system. So in the future, when the tribe trademarks are reduced, how is it going to be? I mean, in the parliament, in the society.
Still, if you see our last parliament, our last election, you will see many social structure are getting together, tribal, non-tribal, new immigrants which became a Kuwaiti, old immigrants. So it's all getting together, and that's a good news because they talk about their philosophy, what they want their country to become. So people are more aware now whether that is a good candidate because he talk at large and he talk about sustainable development and he think of the future. That's why most of them they win, because they capture the interest of the electorate.
Well, we see that there's some diplomatic crisis in the GCC countries, but how did Kuwait manage to keep the fairly good relations with all members?
You know, His Highness the Emir is the eldest one on the of the leader of the GCC, and many youngster rulers on that, and they look at him as a father. That helped him to take this hard decision to be the catalyst and to mediate it between them. And I think he's took some time, but I think the prospect now it shows more positive. Things are getting better, and hopefully very soon we hear a good news. Hopefully.
When could be a good chance to have this status relationship?
Yes, I think if you ask anybody else from that the world, they see things much different than a year ago.
Is it?
Yes.
How?
Yes,
Well, the demands are still there.
No, but I mean...
For the 6 points.
No, I'll give you an example, for example. The Qatari representative were in the GCC conference in Riyadh. So he was there and he had his speech. And he was standing.
They announced that they're going to quit the OPEC.
No, but that's different. I think the Qatari quitting from OPEC not because of the Saudi or Emirati being there. They're worried from the threat that the American may take OPEC as
to manipulate the oil price.
Not only that, but it's like of monopoly and pushing the prices at a price which is not acceptable. So they like to distance themselves away, worrying.
So that they can plan something bigger with America and in America.
No, it's just to distance themselves. If America take a big decision against GCC, Qatar will not be included. And they have a point.
How do you think of this move?
I understand it. I understand it, but I don't know what is the other OPEC members will see. Would they be smart enough to try to avoid the American threat, and how? And I think it is in their agenda now. So the Qatari took that decision not as a political reason, no, from a functional point of view, because they don't want to jeopardize their interest. Because the American has a threat.
Almost all the OPEC countries, the members, they have some interest or stakes in America. Then how come they didn't do the same?
They might take a certain decision.
So are you implying that we can see more members from OPEC?
No, to protect themselves. Because OPEC, it's a clear threat from the American that they may take a case against it. So they may consult, and I think they are consulting their lawyers if they can add any article for the agency in order to protect them. And I think the decision of Qatar has really given a big warning to OPEC. Think how you protect yourselves.
So you think Qatar's quitting from OPEC has something to do with their future plan, which is a $20 billion investment?
No, but if they quit from OPEC, which they will according to them, then they have a space and volume of money that they can put it in a more useful way. So that is the hint of it. But Kuwait and the Saudi and the Emirati, they have a lot of money already in the state.
Right. Then back to the ribs of the GCC countries. So may I ask what kind of efforts did His Highness the Emir has already made in order to reconcile between them?
I think there was a declaration yesterday from our foreign minister who said that now things are more closer than any time before. And we hope we will hear soon some more positive work.
All right.
That's the feeling, at least to everybody.
Okay.
And that is everybody. I mean, we have a very close. My two sons were with His Royal Highness Prince محمد a few days ago, and Prince Khalid, who is their ambassador, and other sheikhs of the GCC. And they came with that feeling, a positive feeling, that thing looks much better than any time before.